Have you ever agreed to help someone not because you wanted to, but because a quiet thought surfaced in your mind? If I say no, will they think I'm heartless? No one blamed you. No one forced you. Just an offhand remark, a tired sigh, a look that carried exhaustion. And you said yes, before you had time to ask yourself, am I choosing this or am I avoiding something? Guilt tripping doesn't work through direct pressure. It operates through a subtler mechanism, the fear of losing moral standing. Human beings are social organisms. Our brains don't only scan for physical danger, they constantly monitor social threats. Being seen as selfish, being judged as cold, being quietly excluded. When a situation hints at that possibility, the nervous system reacts before logic does. Tension rises, the heart speeds up. A vague sense of guilt appears, even though no wrongdoing has occurred. This is where the ego steps in, not to ask what is true, but to protect the image of being a good person. And to preserve that image, it is willing to sacrifice inner honesty. Empathy, a trait meant to bind people together, gets pulled off balance. It stops being about understanding another person and becomes a way to regulate internal discomfort. You help so you don't have to sit with guilt for even a few more seconds. On the surface, it looks like kindness. At the behavioral level, it's a quick decision. At the psychological level, it's a quiet form of avoidance. What people rarely want to face is this. Many good actions are not born from generosity, but from the fear of being seen as bad. Guilt tripping exploits that fear precisely. It doesn't need threats, it doesn't need control. It only needs emotions to be placed on the table so the other person will pick up the responsibility. When this pattern repeats, inner boundaries begin to blur. You lose clarity about what you genuinely want and what has been silently assigned to you. Your sacrifice is praised on the outside, while inside something slowly contracts. The danger isn't in a single compromise. It lies in becoming accustomed to the idea that maintaining harmony requires paying with parts of yourself. At that point, sympathy is no longer neutral. It has turned into a tool, quiet, subtle, and disturbingly effective. At a deeper level, guilt tripping exposes an uncomfortable truth about human freedom. We like to believe our choices are guided by values and conscious intention, but many decisions are shaped by what we are trying not to feel. Guilt is rarely just a moral signal. More often, it is a psychological alarm, alerting us to the risk of losing belonging, approval, or identity. And when belonging feels threatened, the mind does not ask what is authentic, it asks what will restore safety fastest. This is why guilt tripping is so effective. It does not overpower the will, it bypasses it. By the time a person thinks they are choosing kindness, the nervous system has already chosen relief. The relief of staying included, the relief of staying aligned with the image of who they believe they must be. From a philosophical lens, this reveals a fragile foundation beneath many moral actions. Not evil, not manipulation in a dramatic sense, but a quiet dependency on external validation. The self becomes organized around reactions, around avoiding internal discomfort, around maintaining coherence in the eyes of others. And slowly, without any dramatic collapse, integrity becomes conditional. Not lost, just postponed again and again until it no longer feels urgent. Over time, this pattern reshapes identity. A person becomes skilled at sensing expectations, anticipating disappointment, and preemptively adjusting themselves. They are often admired, seen as reliable, considerate, emotionally mature. Yet inside there is a growing distance between action and intention, between what is expressed and what is actually felt. Resentment doesn't always appear as anger. Sometimes it shows up as fatigue, as numbness, as a quiet withdrawal from one's own desires. Relationships built on unspoken guilt rarely collapse loudly. They erode silently. Trust weakens not because of conflict, but because truth is never fully allowed into the space. This is not an invitation to judge yourself or to accuse others. It is an invitation to observe, to notice the moments when sympathy feels heavy, when agreement feels urgent, when saying yes feels like the fastest way to make something uncomfortable disappear. Sit with that recognition. Let it stay unresolved for a moment. If this reflection stirred something in you, share your perspective, not as a conclusion, but as an ongoing question. And if you want to continue exploring the unseen mechanics shaping human behavior, follow this channel.